Greetings, I'm Demonac, and it's Judgment time. This is going to be the second game of my first Judgment run here, and I'm up 1 win, no losses yet. Okay, there's a match. You would not believe how long that actually took, but for you, the time disappears. So, yeah, this is still my energy decay deck. You know, funny... Oh, I'm going first. Ooh. Okay, well, I'm obviously going to want to first turn Meyer Shambler, and I'm going to ditch this guy because, again, he's actually not good in my deck. He's just there because he's the prize. He's my, like, damsel in distress, if you want to go with horrible tropes. Yeah. So, funny thing is, I did one arena run, or one Judgment run, just like when I wasn't recording to try it out earlier, and that one, I had 3 copies of the, whatever it's called. There is a card. It costs... Yeah, there's a card that costs 3 energy, and it just does 2 damage, and then if it kills something, you gain 1 decay. I had 3 copies of that. I had so much removal in that deck that I didn't use it because I wasn't actually playing decay that time. I wasn't sure what the reward structure was. I thought I might be able to take more things, but... Okay, so that's interesting. He has not done anything yet, and he said, oops, he didn't gain a resource. Oh, he's in trouble. Just like ended his turn for no reason. I feel kind of bad for him, but okay. In that case, yeah, well, whatever. I'm just gonna gain 1 energy because I know I'm gonna need it eventually. Play myself a Darkling and see where my guy attacks. Not really where I wanted to, but that's okay. I would have preferred he attacked straight ahead, actually, if he had just moved back, because this guy can't move, so it would help me concentrate on that row. But that's okay. Well, that caught him up on the resources anyway. 2 sparks. That's kind of inconvenient. Well, I don't need to spark anything right now, so I'm actually going to sacrifice for scrolls instead of resources. Yeah. Move him back here. I think I'm going to play my Copper Automaton and just go for the beatdown at this point. Probably a dumb idea, but I don't want to leave my resources unused any more than I have to. And it does mean that if he tries to put out anything decent size to oppose me, he's going to have a hard time. Doesn't look like that's what he's doing, though. So I've got the Scout Automaton and the Gun Automaton. But I think I'm going to be ditching the Gun Automaton anyway, because... Actually, the Scout Automaton is the least useful of them all. That's what I should just ditch him and get my 2 energy. Okay. I don't know what I was thinking. The Scout is, again, not very good in this deck, and I'm much better off just using him as... Oh, that was stupid. Why did I do that? So I wanted him to attack here. I just guaranteed that he won't attack there. I'm so smart. Yeah. Idiotic of me. Whatever. We know what side of the board I'm attacking. Oh yeah, the Scout Automaton. Yeah, I don't have that much stuff for him to interact with in his deck. He's another rare who's mainly in there just because I want to take him if I win enough to get 2 rares. So, my opponent has not done a lot yet. But as you saw last game, you can come back pretty hard. I had kind of a slow start last game, did a bunch of damage. On the other hand, I was still putting things on the board. Part of the problem that my opponent had was he wasn't killing the things I had on the board, like this guy who did 1 billion damage, spread all over the place like an idiot, but he still did like 1 billion damage. So this guy is now going to self-destruct on one of these. He doesn't have a choice because he can't move. On the other hand, it's not necessarily the end of the world. Now, I don't really need to attack that row at all. I could do my damage elsewhere. So I don't need to necessarily blow up the remaining one of these things. This is hard. I don't want to get rid of a shock, but getting the Siege Cracker out would let me smack down some of these rows. I'm probably going to regret it really, really badly not having removal, but the Siege Cracker can do 6 damage. I'm going to get him out. And this guy does a ranged attack, so it's interesting. He has the choice of taking out one of those. And I'm going to move this guy around so I have more control next turn over where he goes. Okay, use Suicide, that's fine. I have no cards, so my opponent definitely has a lot of comeback potential. He can be playing cards like even just the mines there is still cards that are theoretically a lot more valuable than the ones I have in play. Oh, that sucks. He burned that? Did he not read the Safe Cracker? Okay, whatever. I would have burned the Siege Cracker. Sorry, I keep calling him Safe Cracker because that's actually a thing. Siege Cracker is made up, but whatever. I'm surprised he got rid of that. I mean, obviously my guy could get rid of his mine without taking damage, but this is horrible. How did I just went through like all the most expensive cards in my deck at a time when I can't play them. It's actually a miracle that I had a card, couldn't play it, pitched it, and got 2 more cards I can't play. There's so few things, but you know, whatever. So I'm going to move him here. I think I'm going to... I don't really want the Loyal Darkling to die there, but if I move him there, this thing will be gone, so I won't have to worry about it. And he still does 2 damage through when that happens. It will set me up to take that one out. It's probably stupid, but I'm going to let him do that. It increased the chances that this guy would go over and hit the idol that was at 3, which obviously didn't happen, but whatever. I guess next turn I can burn this. Or I could try putting Soul Scrounger on my Siege Cracker, and then every time something... Like, I could attack every turn with him. He's not good against enemy units, but he does... Oh, he's gone anyway. I can just babble on, then. Doesn't matter. If Soul Scrounger this guy, and he might be able to attack every turn, but I'm not counting on him that much. So I'm going to... Yeah, I'm going to... I'd rather have the Focus or the Soul Scrounger. I have more Focus than Soul Scrounger, and I'm more likely to get the Decay. Since I have no creatures that I have any control out of, the Focus is not very useful for me right now. So yeah, I'm going to get my energy from that. I'm going to burn this thing, which is kind of lame. Soul Steal is good. So he might have gone with a Fat Draft type strategy, and the fact that I now have nothing on the board makes me very worried, because he has all kinds of cards. He can start coming back really hard now. I think that's what we're going to see. Oh, and he also got tons of resources from that. Oh, and he had Death Strike as well. Oh, that's awesome. Could it be that his deck is kind of heavy on Decay and he just wasn't getting it? Yeah. Okay, what I'm going to do... I'm The Aging Knight is tempting, but I'm gonna get rid of it anyway. Because I'm gonna Soul Steal here. And then next turn I might even go with a Soul Scrounger on him. Although my opponent has Decay and Energy, it's gonna be so easy for him to kill off these guys. I think what we have here is a situation where I'm just gonna lose to his fat drafting. What I probably should do is Energy Siphon and then draw a card. Actually, I'm just going to draw a card with this and see what I get. Because that's not the best thing to Energy Siphon. And yeah. You don't know. Drop the Pillar of Disease because I can use it for hiding behind, I guess. And then I will hide behind it. No, this is taking a bad turn. Took a bad turn when he killed all my stuff. Usually that's when things go bad. It's the reverse of the other game. The other game it looked like, oh, I was getting beat to a pulp, but eventually I came up with it. Ah, that is so bad for me. I have a lot of weak creatures. That on the other hand, at least I can Energy Siphon and kill that, which will reduce his resource count a little bit. But he has so many resources already. Ah. Oh, I am doomed. Optimism, that's what we need. I'm gonna be an optimist. I'm gonna get rid of him. He had 0 attack there, right? But he just moved him to another row and attack. So, and I'll drop myself. I'd love to get more cards, especially since I can't use energy this turn, but I know the one play that I'm guaranteed to be able to do is to play the Infected Gravelock if I do that. Or play him here behind this, that'll give him some protection. I don't know, he's so inflexible in his inability to move. But yeah, if I don't play a creature, if I draw the cards with this, I can't guarantee I'll get another unit. In which case he'll do 3 plus 1 from the charge scroll and just automatically kill that. So no, I'm going to... It's probably dumb, like everything else I do, but I'm going to get him out. My opponent has way more resources and more cards, and of course... Oh yeah, and he's cycling through his deck faster now too. Whoever draws the most cards wins, especially if they have cards that give them resources, and he does, I think. Yeah, because he was playing totems in front of my guy, I think. So yeah, I'm just screwed. Awesome. Well, I can languid you and draw a card. Oh, I don't want to pitch you for cards because you're awesome, but I don't have a choice. That's kind of funny. I would use some more. And I still can't... I'm not getting any energy. I have all this energy now and I'm not getting the cards. Even though almost half of my deck is energy. I guess I've played a lot of the expensive stuff. But yeah, my deck's all recycled by now anyway. I don't know how I'm going to come back from this. He gains attack, he doesn't gain toughness, so I can Brain Lice him anyway. First I'm going to pitch you for cards, because I can only cast one of you this turn. Oh, awesome. Everything is all decay, so I can't use my energy at all. That's exactly what I need. I've got to Brain Lice this guy anyway, because he's going to become very scary. And I'm going to play a Ripper over here because that's the only way it'll live for even one turn. If I put it anywhere in these 3 rows, he could kill it with this. Ugh. This is just a losing battle here. Oh my, how many burns does he have? Like, I know he's reshuffled his deck, but... Yeah, no, he's drawing too many cards. And he has the energy to support it totally now. Plus, I can't get a foothold because of the charge coil in addition to everything else. So, the Mire Shambler is useless because he can't survive enough. Pitch him. Machine Definator can maybe take some hits for me. At least I can put out a bunch of junk this turn. There's something to be said for a bunch of junk. I don't want to spark him because he's already going to die. Although leaving him alive lets him do some damage first. I would still draw a card from killing him, but I can't guarantee that I'd be able to play it. I've just drawn so much Decay in a row that I might not be getting ones. The Spark won't kill the charge coil. I do need to get rid of it. It won't kill anything really that matters this turn. I'm going to hang on to it because I actually have an excess of energy right now. It's relatively unlikely that I would not be able to play the Spark and whatever other energy I get. Of course, we're going to find out. I'm going to draw some cards, sack it, get all energy, and get screwed somehow anyway. But, ugh. This is really bad. Ugh. I could End of Reason him with something. Okay, that's interesting. But it won't blow him, who's the one guy I want to blow up. It would do 2 damage to everything in a row. But honestly, that doesn't even do me enough good right now. Like, this is probably the card I need, but this is not the time I need it. I'm going to have to sacrifice it for more cards. Retain my ability to shock something. Well, at least I can play all my guys. It's bad, but I think I'm going to have to shock him because it'll help me to get guys out over here. I'm in so much trouble. So much trouble. Yeah, so my Brain Lice finally triggered off, getting rid of the Breaker, who is absurdly dangerous to leave him alive. And if I hadn't Brain Liced him, I wouldn't have been able to. He wouldn't have been in shock range. So do what you can. If this guy stayed alive somehow, he actually makes my Pillar of Disease tougher. Increases my structure's health by 1, but his best ability, which is that every turn he can reduce the cooldown of something else by 1. Can't use it, only works on structures that have a cooldown, and I have none of them. Even if I played with my shock coil, charge coil, it goes every turn anyway. Oh boy. Him taking hits is good though, because he sure isn't a lot of good otherwise. Now, do I play the Copper Automaton, or do I sack it for cards? I need cards so badly. I can't just play one thing a turn, even though he's kind of good. I need the cards. That is not quite what I needed. I need the Cursemonger out, but I just need to play meat. I need to get stuff in play. Put him over here to die. Going to drop the Pillar of Disease here because I think that's a relevant strategic position to be reducing the power of stuff. The funny thing is, if he moves this over to there, it'll get -1 power. It won't kill this in one shot. He would have to move this over here and have it kill that in order to get rid of the extra toughness. Which he will probably do. That's my prediction for what he does. Meanwhile, going to move her over here, because his even if he gets to attack through that thing, his poison damage doesn't kill it. Oh, I lost my... I needed to play the Meyer Shambler. I was talking and didn't... I don't like that the timer is up here. The timer is the only thing near the top of the screen that you're going to look at. But it doesn't give you any useful warnings when you get low. Like, there's some kind of time sound that isn't all that loud. I need this thing to, like, flash huge and bright, or it should make all my cards flash when you get down to, like, 10 seconds left. Because I've lost a lot of turns in, not this game, but playing Scrolls. I have lost a lot of turns to running out of time, because the positional stuff means there's so many relevant decisions to make, and then the timer is just not obvious enough. You notice in Hearthstone, you'd have a hard time not realizing that your clock's running out. I'm going to sack him for Scroll. Meyer Shambler's weaker. I'm going to sack him for Scrolls. So I got something I can play. That's not nothing. His armor will actually hold him in pretty good stead. He can tank that, and he can even tank the Dust Runner. Dust Runner instant kills things with 3 or less health, but he has to do 1 damage. His damage will be reduced by this guy's armor, so it won't work on him. He's got all his meat protecting the charge coil now, which is also not good for me. At this point, I've started to get a foothold. I might have to just eat the charge coil, like let it exist. I'm going to kill off his wolf instead, because I can. And I am going to drop the Cursemonger in the hopes that I can somehow get enough of a foothold to start killing things. He's also out of burn range, although all it's going to take is 1 charge coil if it hits him, and he'll be quite burnable and definitely a high target for burn. Yes, he doesn't directly do damage to creatures, but instead of attacking, he can give Curse 2 to something, which means that thing permanently takes +2 damage from anything that hits it. Which means interacting with other things, he can do a ton of damage. Really? You're playing 3 colors and you're still dropping the fat? It's like, just shows in almost any game in a limited format, fat drafting is strong. I was not able to seal the deal, and my deck is all kind of low cost. So I have an energy siphon to work with. I don't need the energy so much, but giving something -1/-1 is still helpful. I could neutralize this guy. He wouldn't be able to attack anymore. I could weaken him a little bit. It still wouldn't help that much, though. He'd still be killing everything, basically. So I can't do everything either. I think I'm going to go with the Infected Gravelock because he's tougher than the Darkling, so I'm going to sack him and see what I get. The Rot Eater makes things more interesting, that's for sure. Unfortunately, if I play the Rot Eater this turn, I can't play 2 things. Well, no, I can play him and the Ripper. Actually, I can play 2 things. Okay. Okay, I'm going to gamble on him not blowing up my scout with something. It's probably stupid. He's probably just going to blow up my scout with a card and then kill it with that. But I've got to try something. I don't have a lot of choice. Ugh, damn it. I knew that would happen. He got that. It's the one thing I least needed to have charge coiled. If he wasn't charge coiled, he wouldn't have burned him. And I could have used that and probably killed this thing soon. This has 4 toughness. It also has 1 armor, so it's going to take 1 less from all my attacks. If I could have if the Cursemonger could have gone off, I could have changed that basically to -1 armor. So this guy would have been taking +1 from anything, and that means 2 1-point hits would have finished him off. So this will kill off my scout, like blow it out of the water, which will make this a 4/4. Then he'll hit this for 2. Still has 4 power though. It's not the end of the world. I don't think I'm going with the order now. I think I need to draw some energy cards. Guess I'm going with the order next turn. Okay, I'm going to use the energy siphon to neutralize him, because he could blow up all my stuff pretty easily. And I guess I sort of pivot my formation this way. Drop an infected Gravelock to guard this row. And yeah. That's about all I can do. This guy is super dangerous. He has Relentless, so he can actually blow through a whole row. It doesn't matter because he shocked my Rot Eater. I was totally counting on that Rot Eater. He was the only thing that was standing between me and having actually nothing any good. I now have nothing any good. I do have Focus. So if I won't be able to sack for cards then, but if I sack for order, I can either sack my Siegecracker for 1 order and focus each turn for the next 2 turns, or I can just sack 1 of the focus, use it now. With that, she can kill this thing, so that'll help, and then drop the Siegecracker. The Siegecracker is never going to get through, though. He really isn't. But on the other hand, if I don't get him, I'm not going to have like any creatures. He'll run out of creatures very fast. And he does have 3 toughness for the shock charge quell. That is a tough choice. Which to sack? Because I'm definitely going to move her over here and kill this thing with a focus. Oh boy. He's going to come over and trample them. He's going to blow that. The Siegecracker can't really threaten my opponent's stuff, but I need to have creatures. I don't know. I'm going to go with the planned double focus. Even though it means I'm wasting a lot of my resources this turn, the Siegecracker is not going to help me win the game. At least the focus gives me a chance to, say, blow up this giant turd. At this point, though, I'm really just slowing him down. He's going to crush me. What is this? Oh, yeah. It's another just kind of basic creature. It's not overly good, even. Because you can get a 2/2/3 with an ability for 2. I'm not judging him, though. Like, this is a limited format. You take the creatures you can get. But this is one of the new cards, and it's not too impressive. It is interesting that they've made a point of spreading it out, though. So there are basic cards. When they introduce a big chunk of cards, there are still basic things. It's not everything is more complicated, more powerful. There's my burn. Hooray for me. I think I'm going to burn this guy. I think that's the most efficient thing I can do, even though it means it's not killing him. I need to do that and get a card. Then I can play this, or I can sack it for cards, which I may or may not be able to play. If I sack the focus, yeah, that's the best, because I can't use it this turn, and I just need stuff now, like sooner than now. I need stuff yesterday. Can Soul Steal something that has 2 toughness? There aren't a lot of good 2 toughness or less. There aren't a lot of good candidates for that right now, frankly. Play the Gun Automaton, and then I put Soul Scrounger on him. Then he'll probably be able to attack every turn. Now, is that actually going to help me win? I have no idea. This is 2 or less, right? Yeah. And it's only creatures, so it wouldn't let me blow this up anyway. Oh boy. I guess I'm going to play a Gun Automaton with Soulsgrounder. I'm going to move her so I have a little more flexibility. I'm assuming he's not going to speed his Iron Ogre or something and attack with it this turn. Because he could trample through and, like, crush all my pitiful plans that I have left. Really? More burn, and he has Death Strike too. Awesome. Looks like he doesn't really have Decay in there. Has he played any Decay cards? I don't think he has. I think he just has the Decay as a side effect. He got one from his no ID, or however you say that guy, and he's getting him from Death Strikes. Again, my previous Judgment deck was so good. It had so much removal that I had 3 Dark Strikes, and I cut them all, because I still had more Sparks and Burns and Kabonks all over the place. So, there's nothing even good to Soul Steal. In fact, even if I shock him, he won't be in Soul Steal range. That is just mind-boggling that this amazing card that gives me a creature and kills something is not even friggin' useful. I could kill that. It's not giving me a card, it's just giving me a weak creature that's going to die. I need this to turn into better stuff. Oh, I get the Mire Shambler anyway. Hooray! I probably should have just shocked one of these guys and then blown them up. I don't know. I'm so doomed anyway. In fact, I'm going to save my shock because I have so much energy I can still probably cast everything. And right now, it's actually not doing anything useful for me. I mean, he could move this guy over here and do 1 extra damage, which I guess would screw up my Gravelock, but it's not like he really needs the growth that he gets from having this guy alive. It's not that big a deal. And he has like 3, maybe even more burns, because I'm sure you don't have a deck building limit. Usually in limited formats you don't have a deck limit, so if you can get 4 copies or 5 copies or something, you can put them all in, even though the deck limit is normally 3 for scrolls. But yeah, this game is just a delaying action. I'm not going to... Well, I should probably surrender, actually. Normally when you surrender, you're actually denying the other person gold. It's kind of asinine, but... You don't get gold for every game in the same way that you normally do in Arena. Can't even defend that Roman very well. Still can't even do anything with that Spark. This is really sad. I should have just surrendered. At this point, like, look at all his resources. Even though he's not using the Decay, he has 6 and 8 of the 2 resources he uses. He has fatter stuff than I do. I don't have anything anywhere near as fat. I should actually just surrender now. Or I should actually just surrender ages ago. Yeah, this game is over. That was an amazing turn, relatively speaking. my board position is still garbage. So now I'm going to save everyone a lot of time and surrender this one. Sorry, guys. Hopefully I will do better next game. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this, please activate the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to Demonac Games for more Hearthstone Arena and Scrolls Judgement videos.